Podcast starts at 19 seconds.
Welcome to a new episode of Fit the Description, a Black Men's podcast where various black men come together to talk about life, society, entertainment, culture, news, and whatever else we want to talk about from various black men's perspectives. I'm your host, G, and in this episode, we're going to go ahead and do another cut content back from episode 107. This was an episode I've been wanting to release for a very long time because I thought it was a very good discussion. And I finally have an opportunity to actually put this one out. Now, the reason why we don't have a regular episode this week, well, technically this week and next week, pretty much it's on me. I had some personal issues that came up, and it was a little too serious where I had to wind up canceling the podcast this week. So, hopefully for next episode, we'll be back to normal. But this one, we're going to go ahead and release another cut content of one of the episodes I've always wanted to put out. So now with that being said, make sure to follow or subscribe depending on your platform. Make sure to hit that like button. If you get a chance, why don't you go ahead and check out our Clips channel, Fit the Description Podcast over there on YouTube. We also post to various different audio platforms. The links will be in the description besides on the audio platforms. And now with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with this episode.
That's what you want to believe. That's what you're choosing to believe. Or it's more of what you believe versus, because everything you said could it be explained by just other things. Like just because your check engine light came on and went off, it doesn't mean that there's not still something wrong with your car. Like the world just doesn't work like that. Like,
brother, the issue is gone.
Okay, but how do you know that? Are you a mechanic?
No, I'm not a mechanic, but the problem was when the check engine light was there was a problem with the check engine light because of the emission. So when I would turn on the car, it was having a hard time starting. Well, once he fixed that problem for me, I don't have that problem no more.
Okay, but that logically, like I said, just because your check engine light went on and something balanced itself or you found a dime on the ground, it's like there's money everywhere. Like I said, it's what you choose to believe in. Like I get what you guys are saying, but it just sounds like, just like I said at the start of this, it's just what a person chooses to believe in and what it's just all man-made. There's no.
Okay, I'll get into this. Why not? I'll have fun with this. No, I disagree because, like they said, some things just happen. You don't know why they happen. They happen at the right time or the timing of it, and you can't really explain it. I told you the story before about how I was about to get jumped into a game, and magically you just showed up. I didn't tell. No. It ain't. Oh my God, this shit. There's no reason why this should have happened. There's no reason why you should have been there. There's no reason why. I never run into you walking, but you were there. Now, I'm not saying that.
Okay, but that doesn't have anything to do with God. That's timing. If you.
Yeah, but why were you there at that time, though? That's the question. Like, why were you there at that time?
You were about to get jumped into a game at the time when I was walking to the basketball courts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I walk that way every day of
school. No, you were walking. You weren't because you weren't walking from like the what you call it, like from the cafeteria. You were walking from like the cafeteria. Well, not that area, but you were walking from that direction. Normally, I just see you on the basketball court. I never see you in that area.
I took a pass to go to like.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I get what you're saying, where like everything can be explained, but no, some things are unexplainable. Of why was it at that time? Why did that happen? No, there's no reason why that should have happened. So you could say that, and I get where you're coming from because a lot of things, but no, like B was saying, how is just the 10 cents I need is right there on the ground when I need it the most. That doesn't make any sense.
Like I said, who the fuck doesn't carry extra money? That to me just doesn't make any sense. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I guess I just got I don't know. I guess I just got money.
Well, that's the problem, though. You're trying to make sense of faith. Come on, go ahead.
That just don't make no sense. I'm a grown
Well, that's
ass
the
man.
problem. You're trying to make sense of faith. And faith is not about sense; it's about belief. But anyways, go ahead, Adam. You were trying to say something.
It's not about that. It's about
Hold on, wait, hold on. I want to give Adam.
The store and needed 10 cents. No. I've been quiet and listening to everybody.
No, Adam. I just want Adam to say what
I'll
he's trying
wait.
to say.
No. Let Keith go ahead. Keith, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. I've been to the store plenty of times, and a person has seen me short 10 cents, and they let me go multiple times. It's been very fucking rare. 10 cents is the difference. That's wild to me. That's
exactly.
Like I said, I'm not gonna take
exactly because again, you don't walk through faith. You just try to make it. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but you're just trying to just reason everything as something's unreasonable.
That shit is dumb. Our check-in.
Well, of course it's dumb to you, dude. You don't walk in faith.
Our car was fucking doing some weird shit, and then like I said, our check-in like just went the fuck off, and it fucking rained for the first time in forever, and the car was doing dumb shit, and the check engine light went on, and the oil light came on, and now all that shit's off. Shit happens. It ain't got nothing to do with divine intervention. Fuck out of here.
How would you know that? The question is, how would you know that?
How did you know that?
Because I have faith.
How did you know that?
Because I have faith, and I walk in faith, and so I have belief.
Oh my God! Okay, so
again, I gave you my answer. What's your answer? How do you know? It may not be the answer you like.
Wait. I can kind of answer keep the question over, but I want my question answered at the end. So, I'm sorry to be on Keith's side. I understand where he's coming from. First and foremost, before I go forward, I have faith. But on Keith's side, it's stated if you do have a check engine light on, it's a safety check that does come on. It comes on once and it comes on twice. It checks it 2 different times. But after about 40 to 50 times that a check engine light comes on and it fails whatever in the car would normally make it fail, which causes the check engine light to come on. After the 40th or 50th time of that happening, it kind of in a way resets itself and it takes the check engine light off. Now, it will come back on later on if the problem is still there and persists, but it's still going to go through the same cycle that it does before. Just to be on Keith's side of seeing things with it being a scientific answer to that statement.
Like I said, a check engine light can mean your gas tap ain't screwed on fucking right. So missing that book. A door ain't closed right. A check engine light can mean 100 different fucking things.
It can.
I get that. But I know.
What the fuck does that got to do with God? Get the fuck out of here, man.
Because you don't walk with him. You don't know. It's that simple, bro. You don't know my experience.
Like I said,
I can bring many more stories about how you helped me out.
It just sounds like this right place, right time. That's all it sounds like. I needed 10 cents, so I found 10 cents. I had a check engine light on, and then it went off. So I'm going to praise this and praise that. All right.
Yeah, I'm grateful.
Okay, but
gratitude.
It also works that way too, because in the Bible, when Jesus, needed food or he needed something, he had money.
Who made the Bible?
The Bible was supposed to be made by the disciples that followed Jesus.
Mm-hmm. And these are the same people that y'all been talking about for the last hour that are corrupted and the problem and all this other bullshit.
No,
that's not who we're talking about, but okay.
But they themselves they weren't perfect. They did the best and was the best that they could be. And they were accepted by Jesus. And they just continued doing the best that they could by following his word. They recorded their
Thank you for saying that.
But that's it. I'm not trying to convince you, Keith, and I know you're not trying to convince anybody else, but you're just you're telling us your side.
No, this is not about convince, man. Hold
on, Adam.
Yeah.
Adam, I'm not trying to get convinced or convince anybody anything. I'm trying to make a point.
No, that's what I said. I said you wasn't trying to convince anybody.
No, No. I know at the end of the day, you believe what you want to believe, but I believe that, just like I've been saying, talk about doing this, doing right, and blah, 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 and all this other bullshit, divine intervention. But when people are out here, like, this world is built on death. I don't care how you look at it. Everybody is guaranteed one thing in this world, and that is death. Your so-called God gave us so-called one thing in common, and that is to die. That is to die. That is it. There's nothing else, nothing more.
Wait.
That is
there is one
thing
more.
that everybody on this planet has in common. We all die.
We
all are guaranteed life because that's a given. Everybody is not guaranteed life. People die in the womb. People die before they even take their breath back. Everybody in this world is guaranteed death. That is it. Now, with that being said, the so-called people that are evil and who make the Bible and all the pastors and all this shit, yes, I do agree. I don't agree with pastors shouldn't influence people to pay for things, because I know when I was growing up in the church, just like you guys said, common sense. If basically I love this church I'm going to, and at the time I was a kid, I loved the church I was going to. I loved the people that I went to church with. If the pastor needed X amount of dollars extra, and we needed new pews, or the congregation needed new robes, or fucking he needed a new podium, as long as, yes, I see that that's being bought as a child, then okay, I don't mind helping. Fuck the treasury, fuck the funds. Like I said, if there was a YMCA that said, okay, hey, we're going to get all the kids together, well, we need everybody's help, $20 a parent. Cool. As long as it's for a cause, I would never say, oh, this should not come out of my pocket for God. If you love something that you're going to push your ass to keep it upright. Doesn't matter what the fucking cause does. If you're so-called believing God and doing what's right, this motherfucker do what's right. That's fucking hypocritical. But yes, I got the money to do that. I got the money to come out of pocket and fucking help. Like I said, yes, I don't go to church because I can't get simple fucking answers that to the questions I have. I can't get it from you motherfuckers, and I damn sure can't get it from them. That's why I don't go to church. I don't believe in God's sorry ass. And I will never believe in God's sorry ass. I've seen a miracle. If you've seen a child be born, that's a fucking miracle. That's a divine intervention. That's a life-changing thing. If you see somebody die in your arms, that's life-changing. And like, I'm not saying that anybody on this panel hasn't seen either of those things. But those are divine interventions. Those are miracles. Those are tragedies. Fucking finding a fucking dime, fucking check engine light, fuck all that. Show me some real divine intervention. Watch a woman stick her hand up your lady and have to turn your kid, and so your kid doesn't suffocate to death, and you can do nothing about it. But it wasn't God who did that. I was a human. Like I said, I believe in people, and I will always believe in people. I will never the same motherfuckers that built this world is the same, the same motherfuckers that are destroying this world are the only motherfuckers that are going to rebuild it. It ain't going to be our generation. It ain't going to be the next generation. It's hopefully it's a generation after that. But it's not going to change until we're long gone, because all of us, me, you, G, Adam, James, we are all too fucking stubborn because we can't agree on the simplest shit. We are all evil in our own certain ways. We are all tyrants. We are all selfish. We are all this because we're not willing to see things from each other's point of view, because at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense on my side. It doesn't make sense on your side. You're saying a blind entity. Kids, that's the one thing I can say I love about kids. and I hate about kids now on what we say earlier. Kids have no fear. Kids have no consequences. I hate that I was raised with consequences because I'm afraid. These kids now have a chance in life to not have that fear. I'm glad that none of these kids go to church. I'm glad none of these kids give a fuck about Jesus and God and devil and shit because it's stupid. It's a plague on the world that is pushed by a higher power. Yes, your vision of God is not the one that's being chosen. Your voice means absolutely nothing. And because a person that matters more than you, whether it be fucking Lil Baby or Little Wayne, pushes their God. And their God will trump your fucking God any day of the week.
And I don't agree with that, but okay.
I can see where you're coming from, Keith, and I can't
say
that.
Prove to me otherwise.
I can't say that I agree with you, but I can definitely see where you're coming from. So, like I said, when I used to think about the card thing, I can understand from the other side, and that's not a problem because for a lot of things can be explained scientifically, and there are some things that can't be explained scientifically, and that's where the part of the faith comes in. That is, a higher power being there because it can't be, well, because you believe it first and foremost, but also because against all odds, let's just say there's something that exists that shouldn't exist, just for an example. But it can be seen both ways, and even Christians and people who believe in faith, they can view things and they can understand and see things from both point of views as well. But they just still choose to believe in faith. Like for B's, for example of the issue with the car, it might have been something that was very fearful. It could have led to other issues. It could have been a whole bunch of things. But one, after asking God to help with the situation, give him understanding, and I'm not saying that's what you did, B, just as an example, but he could have got in the car one day after that conversation he had with God to find that the check engine light was no longer on. So for B, talking to God, asking for assistance and help, even though he knows that, it could be something, but it went away. So for B, asking God for help came true. That issue is no longer an issue. He asked for help. He got help, divine intervention, if anything, but the problem is solved. It's solved. It's not saying that it wouldn't come up in the future later on, because I don't know if it did or did not, but at that time and point where they only had one car and they needed to make sure that, that car was running so they can get to and from and do what they had to do, it continued to do so. And vice versa. If he never asked or he never talked to God, it could have been just as possible that it could have got worse. So that's how I see it.
Like I said, that's a 50-50 thing. If you wouldn't ever have talked, would it have changed the situation?
It is a 50-50. You're right.
You could say the one or the other all day long. That's what I'm saying. If you would have never said anything, would that have happened anyway? And that's where my mind goes to. If I would have never said anything, how do you know you don't know? You can say because it's a pattern of what you believe. But it's like coming from a person that does not believe, that has good shit happen to them all the time. I'm a fucking walk. I will damn God into the day I fucking can't stop fucking breathing. And I have, just to prove a point, and I continuously get myself out of situations. Like, fuck out of here. Fuck God, fuck Jesus, fuck all of that. It's dumb, it's stupid, it's not real, and I will say it until I can't say it no more. But yet I get more so-called blessings than most. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. And I gotta hear stupid shit like, well, God forgives everybody and he gave us free will to do this. And I love and he loves everybody. Shut the fuck up. Oh, well, as long as you don't praise to the devil, God will always be victor. I want to hear that shit. I want to hear that shit.
Well,
because
honestly, I can say that,
I believe that a devil is fucking winning in this world. So I'll say that all day long. You guys G that. I see more evil deeds get rewarded than good.
Well, I can definitely see that, and I can agree. And I again can't quote something that I don't know exactly remember, but when you also, or okay, let's think of it another way, or let me explain. Let me say what I'm thinking of it in a different way, so because I don't remember the exact version of it. You did have people back when Moses was looking for their home when they was over the 40 years that they were in the desert, right? 40 years they was in the
And this is
desert,
the guy
and they was
that
fighting. They was fighting other.
built a ship and got
Uh,
two of every animal
well, they was
named Jack.
fighting. They was fighting other colonies as well, other cities, right? And you had
Okay,
individuals there
but
that worshipped like
okay,
Baal,
but
but
this
Baal
is the
wasn't serious.
guy who built the ark and
Moses?
had two of
No,
every animal.
no,
Is
that
that
wasn't
who
Moses.
you're talking about? Huh?
Moses, yeah, Moses was no, that was
No, Noah.
Uh,
The
that was
keep talking
Noah.
about
That's
Noah.
Noah.
Thank you, B.
Oh, okay, okay, no. I'm sorry. Moses is the asshole that parted a Red Sea
Yeah,
so
and led to
people could
people.
walk. So you mean to tell me two walls of water were parted with animals sticking to those walls, not having any curiosity to jump out of those walls, while people walked how many miles again? I think it was what 22. I think it was.
Well,
Oh, it's not
that's
stated.
not the example I was using, but they have found
But
proof
but
that there
that's
Oh
was
no,
that's
life.
let
not
finish his
an
example.
example.
Let
I
let
just
me
want
finish
to
his
know
example.
who's the
Let
person
me
who
finish
you're
his
talking
example.
about.
I don't,
They
yeah,
did. They
let finish
did
his
find.
example. Let him finish.
They
Let him
did
finish.
find proof.
It's not about the example. I just want to know, is that the person he's talking
One
about?
moment. One moment, y'all.
Oh, Jesus. Of course he will leave.
No, I'm sorry. I'm here. I just had to. I was talking real quick.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But no, to keep all I'm saying about that.
No. He's asking who were you talking about?
Oh, I was talking about
Exactly.
Moses, but I wasn't talking about in
Yes.
that
And
specific situation.
no,
But
it's not about the situation. That's the person who you're talking about. That's what
yeah,
I'm.
yeah, I am talking about
Okay.
Moses.
Okay. So
So,
another.
well, what I was going to say is not to just disregard anything he was saying, but for that,
Yeah.
I was going to say that they did find proof that there was, or it looked like there was, that there was a crossing between the wagons that were in the ocean, that not by the middle, but towards the middle, that were in the middle, scrolls, vases, and other things that were like there, not something that fell into the sea, but it looked like it was there when they went and they did some archaeology in the sea. But that was just to answer your question, not question, but what you were saying. But what I was getting across was what you were saying about people being bad or people having good luck and being successful. No, they're not the best people. Now, I was just using saying another example of when Moses was still there before I believe it got passed on to, got his name Joseph, Jeremy, something like that. But they were fighting. They were fighting other cities like the Canaanites and other groups of people who worshipped other entities, such as Baal,
Uh-huh.
but they didn't see Baal as the demon Baal. They seen Baal as a individual who was helping them, who they had their own religion with. Now, I guess I'm bringing that up because it's basically saying it's seen in the eye of the beholder. So for some individuals, they might not see Baal as this evil demon entity. They might see him as like a savior. So who's to say that he is evil, except for the people who have a history with Baal within the different religions who view him as evil and have examples of him doing evil things. But to those people, they didn't view him as evil, nor did they have things that would be considered evil to talk about him. They talked about how they helped them against their enemies when they worshipped him or sacrificed people to them, and they were able to win wars and win battles. But it's just basically within the eye of the beholder how you view something. So for you, like you said, there's no proof. There's there you see bad people, you see people who aren't Christians who get rewarded or have good things happen to them. Things like that happen. It's Not saying that you're going to get punished later on in life. It's not saying that you may have got punished in the beginning of your life and you're able to have all this good. It's just life in a sense of saying. So it's based on how you view it. So if you view it as, people who do good things get rewarded by, having good luck or having all these things, that's one way of looking at it. You can also view it as it being a test. People who are good at heart and good in nature tend to do all these things, but they can be dirt poor and have all these awful things happen to them. Like that was another passage that happened in the Bible, story in the Bible as well. And they just got rewarded more so past. But it really just depends.
All right, go ahead, Keith.
What's your question? Let me ask that because I have one.
No, I didn't have a question. I was just stating that.
I'm going to ask a question after all this.
My
question is,
I'm sorry, man.
To everybody on this panel, or preferably just you if you want to just answer. It's like, okay, you got to admit maybe not to the person who's telling me that there's a different Bible or whatever the case may be, or different laws or whatever it is. But you got to admit that every time somebody tries to say something about God, it's always a contradiction. And that's my problem. It's like,
it's always a what?
Why is it so
a contradiction?
Oh, contradiction. Okay.
Why is there so many contradictions when it comes to this inanimate object? It's like, oh, well, if I ask, okay, how can an entity sit on its throne and watch its so-called children or it's basically image destroy itself, free will? It's like, okay, but it's not like, it hasn't, okay, so it chooses to intervene when it wants to intervene. And it's just always an excuse. It's just always an excuse after excuse after excuse. It's like, oh, if you feel it, it's there. If it won't talk to you directly, it'll talk to you indirectly. So something that has so much divine power can't speak to a person directly. That logically doesn't make sense. When you have mediums talking to ghosts about their past to people. I've been to one of these meetings. It wasn't for me, but for the person that I went with, they sure did know a lot about this person, could never interact with this person. Some people will call that devil. But yet again, God has all this power. And this person who went, it wasn't really I'm not saying that they didn't believe in God or some type of religion, but they weren't heavy like most motherfuckers. But I'm just like, that just doesn't logically make a lot of sense. Like I said, it's a bunch of contradictions. Always a contradiction. Like we watch hurricanes. That's God doing. So God, like I said, I'll put it to you like this. I can't praise somebody and damn somebody at the same time. Or let me rephrase that. I can't watch people praise somebody and not damn somebody at the same time. I can't watch so-called God create hurricanes and wipe out hundreds of thousands of people. Homes, what they built, and they've done nothing. And you should praise him for that. You shouldn't damn him because it was for a reason. I can't praise a God that does so much vile shit with nature. God created nature, so I have to blame God. So I felt myself blaming him or seeing the diabolicalness of him more than anything. Any good on God is from me, and I will 100 say that. But there's no way I can look at the world and be like, a monsoon is not man-made. That's by nature. God created nature. So the people that praise him have to damn him at the same time. And if you find yourself damning him a lot more than praising him for good goddamn reason, then because you're disgusting, because you're like, why do I have so much? And this person that's probably done nothing, I don't know, deserves to lose everything. Logically doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So you can't tell me to believe in something, faith and all of this stuff. So you want me to believe that the same fucking dickless piece of shit that gives me a check and a roof over my head and food over my table and I can literally smite hundreds of thousands of people, kill women, children, elderly, and all this other bullshit. Yeah. And then again, I've asked the pastor this, and you know what they said? God works in mysterious ways. That's a crock of shit. What? That's an excuse for torment. So to all the God believers over here fucking stroking his dick, you explain to me how that's fucking fair. Or hell, even that's right. I can't wait to hear it. Can't wait to hear it.
I'll take a crack. I'm sorry.
No. Fuck it, Adam. I don't want to hear from you. I want to hear from the two sons of bitches that have been stroking his dick this whole time. That's what I want to hear. Because they sure ain't got nothing to say now.
No. Whoa. No, ain't that we have nothing to say. We just letting you say what you gotta say because you've been blowing for like how long? So I don't know. You want to go at this or you want me to go?
Like me.
Okay. Well, why did God allow this to happen? Well, you forget that he did for thousands of years. He gave us commandments, right?
Wait. You know what, B? You know what? Let me go first because you're a lot more well-read. So it's better if I go first. So I'll go ahead and go first. And again, I'll just say this. It's not to you, Keith, but I'm just going to say this plain. I'm not the best person to answer this. I'm not most well-read. I'll put that out there, but I'm going to answer this since you asked. For me, it's kind of simple. Number one, we, like I said, just like how you say he created all this terror and all this stuff in the world, we also have paradise. And of course, two people screwed it up for us because they told him, don't eat the fruit out of the tree. And he did. It kicked them out. You ain't got to like the answer, but that's what happened. And we all had to deal with the consequence of that. Fair. It's really that simple. I mean, it really is like that. So again, like I said, I'm not the best person to answer this, but yeah, that's really where I would say it is.
What does that have to do with monsoons wiping out hundreds of thousands of people?
Because we didn't have that problem, and we would have never had that problem if they did not make that decision.
Not they, one person.
No. The other person followed behind. Don't forget that.
Yes, they did,
So
but
that was a still choice on both of them.
It was by a trusted individual who was put there. So I'm just saying.
No, they both. I did both to serve responsibility for that.
Okay, but hold on. Who put that tree there?
Oh, that I don't know.
God.
It was God.
God put that tree there as like it set him up for failure.
But he didn't put the serpent there.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter. It matters. At the end of the day, okay. Was God there every day? No. But that serpent was. If you and another person are basically on an island, you're going to get tired of talking to this motherfucker. It's not like it just happened day one. They're only human, right? At the end of the day.
Well, they didn't have any knowledge of right and wrong. And I got to say, now that
that's a great point too. They didn't have any knowledge of right and wrong.
They didn't. But what I will say, he was hella suspicious of a snake to start talking to you. All the other animals did not.
Oh my God! Thank you. Here we go. Another excuse.
No, it's not an excuse.
That's not an excuse. That's just what happened. That's just a statement of fact.
No. I'm not saying you. I can't wait to hear the excuse. That's what I'm saying.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry, Keith. I was just kind of being funny in a roundabout way, but
No, but that's a logical point, though. That's literally a logical point. How don't you know? Like you didn't know right from wrong So it's like at the end of the day, how could you have known that something that you were doing? If God made this Eden and there's a tree and a snake is like, eat this fruit, and there's no God to tell you otherwise.
God did
Like,
say.
like the
God
snake
did
is
say.
always
They told him not to do it.
Not to do it.
Yeah, God directly told him not to do it.
okay, but was he there every day telling him not to do it?
It doesn't matter. He said
No,
not to do
no,
it.
every day.
It's like when a parent
That's
tells you
like,
not to.
okay,
It's like when a parent
do
tells you
you
not to
have
touch the
children?
stove and
Do
you
you
touch
have
the
children?
stove.
It doesn't even say how many times. I think it actually by what the Bible states or is stated in the Bible, it was one time.
And that's all you should
Okay,
need.
but
That's
you
all you
have
should need.
children. How many times do you have to tell children something? How many times do you have to remind them
Constant.
something? How many times do you have to beat it into their skull to not do something?
Constant.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
And he did do that.
Like a,
The-
not
the-
provoking me.
Yes,
Show
he
me,
did.
show me where it says that in the Bible. Show me where it
He,
says that in the
he
Bible.
repeated himself throughout the whole Bible. He gave commandments, he gave laws, and we
Hold
refused
on.
to do it.
No. Stay in that specific moment. Stay in that specific moment.
Stop saying we. No, in that one moment.
Yeah. Stay on.
Don't say we, because we ain't got shit to do with Adam and Eve. We ain't got shit to do with them.
All right, so you're
At
talking
that
about
time.
Adam and Eve?
Yeah. See that. Stay on that specific
That's what
moment.
Jesus said.
Okay.
Yeah, we're staying on that specific moment.
Yes, he told Adam and Eve in the beginning, from the very start, to not eat that tree. Why did they eat the tree? Is because the fallen angels, the watchers, they betrayed the Father in the heavens, and they came down and manipulated the serpent to trick Eve. Because we're talking about entities that's way older, way smarter. We're brand new species. They came, trick Eve, and that's how she ate the fruit. They were tricked into eating the fruit.
But I want to jump to Keith's question that he had said a little bit earlier about if there's evil. It's basically because God gave free will, and with free will comes the ability to do evil just as much as it's the ability to do good.
Yeah.
No one has a right to stop you from acting or doing how you want to act and do, him in particularly, or how the Bibles or the examples in the Bible that were given is if evil had been done, it lasted a while before anything that was done about it, like the cities of Gomorrah and I forget the other city, but it took a while for action to be done, and that was because he directly took action, or it was an angel that was sent down that directly took action on behalf of God. But they gave the individuals their chances um, to stop their evil ways and signs, but they ignored them. And, eventually what happened was that. But
that came with that. Once they ate the fruit, that's what came with it.
oh well, I'm past the fruit at this
No,
point.
I'm just saying, like when you talk about evil, that's what came with it. But yeah, keep going. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So but let me get out of here for you. But that was one example of that. It's part of free will, and God does not. God, it. There was a point in time when God would commune with certain individuals, not angels or anybody else, but God directly. And at one point, and I don't want to be misquoted, so I don't want to say that it's in the Bible, but at one point, um, there was no more communication. It was one last individual who had communication with God, and then after that, it was just none. Nobody else was able to commune, talk, see him, because there was actually that was just that when they said there were very few individuals within the Bible that actually seen God, I believe, and and even though there were many more individuals who heard or saw visions or representations, such as Moses in the burning bush, even Moses himself, I don't believe, seen God. And
No, he only saw the back of them.
oh, the back of God. Okay, sorry
Yeah.
about that. So he seen the burning bush, and then when he was going through the desert, when they set up the tents, he was able to commune with God in a way. When he would go into the, I forget what it's called. It wasn't a church, of course, but it was
The
their holy
tabernacle.
space. You said
Yeah.
tabernacle?
Yeah.
Okay. The tabernacle and commune with him directly. And like you said, B, it was the back of God, but never directly the front. So
Hmm.
again, it was very few people that actually got to commune and see God in person. And even then, was there any statement that said what he looked like?
Well, I said because the original people of God were in His image are black, pretty much black people. He looks like a black man. He just surrounded in holiness. He got curly hair. He got he got black nose, black lips. He
But they
like,
only saw the back of him, though.
huh?
That's for sure. But
Yeah.
but
So
but
only one who saw the face of the Father was Enoch. Well, and the Messiah, of course. But
Wait,
you
wasn't
know,
it one more outside of Enoch? I think it was like near the end of the Bible, the person who was shown the revelation or something, right? There was like one more, wasn't it? He was an old man
uh,
though.
not that I cannot remember at this moment. But I know for sure Enoch has. But he walked with the Father for 300 years. See, you gotta understand that it takes training to be in the presence of the Father. If he just would have came right now, we all would have melted and died. You know,
mm,
we're not
yeah, that's
trained.
very convenient. Very
Nor
convenient.
worthy.
Oh, wait.
But
There's,
I wanted to jump to also the weather thing. So yes, God did create the weather, right? Nature, weather. And because of that, you know, there's no perfect weather system in general. Other than that, it'd be probably sunny all the damn time, or just what I think we can all agree that spring would kind of be like the perfect, like a good day in spring is like the perfect day, how it is. No clouds in the sky. If it's too cloudy, it's not too sunny, not too hot, not too cold, just general spring, right? It'd be spring all the time, but it does not happen that way. Um, what was I going with this? I think I was trying to say that um, when the weather was created, maybe it was supposed to be one type of way in the Garden of Eden at all times. But out when you left the Garden of Eden, then you gained knowledge, and now you're no longer in eternal bliss. Now you're subject to everything else, the way it was for all the beings or individuals that are born outside, animals outside of the Garden of Eden, for example. But um, who's to say that just because, monsoon season comes in one particular area, yeah, the monsoons are bad, but what else comes with monsoon? Rain. So who needs rain? Individuals who live in the desert, for example. That's their time where they are, a little bit more relaxed, so they're getting what they need for their crops and, whatever. But of course, there were also seasons of drought. So it's not just that. Okay, I'll help you. But I'm just trying to say that since there's no perfect weather, the weather does alternate all the damn time. So, with that being said, what would be good for one individual or group of people could be bad for the other group of individuals. So, Keith, while you were saying, you can't have one group of people praise while another group um, um, curses, you know, and there are individuals in those different groups who may curse, and regardless of what the season is or is not, just because of how they feel or the experiences that they went through and may have had. That's also, um, what was I saying? Not what was I saying, but what was it? Uh, Freedom to express or do what you want to do. I mean, if that was the case, anytime someone says something bad about God, someone or something would just pop up and smite them. Since basically, Jesus himself also said, do not um, say again, taking words out of his mouth, but do not talk bad about God. And I think it was also one thing he said where it was unforgivable if you talk bad about the Holy Spirit. You can talk bad about him. You can
Well,
talk about,
that's a commandment. Last time I checked,
to
is that
not
the word of God?
to not what is it starts with a B. Blasphemize, to not blasphemy.
Yeah, you know, the Father, he can accept people talking about him and his son, but he will not allow people to talk about his Holy Spirit. There's no forgiveness for that.